Hey, how's it going out there, beautiful people of the
Ooh.
world? This is Radio Melee. Welcome back on in to the Premier Melee podcast. I am joined today, of course, by the powerful, intellectual, and also very
Hello.
aware.
What's up?
Toph. What's up, Toph? How you doing today, man?
What's up, dude? Yeah, sorry, I've had a bit of a hectic day. His Aatrox directly behind me.
That's what it's all about.
Did you have a question?
What's up, Atrioc?
No, I do have a question.
It's PP. Look, he's right there.
What's up, PB?
Hi.
Hi, there's
You know,
Axe.
this is a true fact. PB once called me the greatest Sheik he's ever seen. When he was commentating.
I did.
That's
I don't remember
awesome.
that.
He said, no lie, I would throw Mewtwo King under a bus to see 5 more minutes of your Sheik.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like something
That's
I would
so
say.
rude to
Yeah,
Jason.
that's like something he's
incredibly
Mhm, For sure. For sure. Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't do any of that, but I mean, I get the spirit of where he's coming from.
So Toph, add a new locale.
At a new locality, that's right. I am at Ludwig's house for the day. However, Aatrox is the only person here. Is there out?
There's Sky.
What's up, Atrioc? How you doing?
Yeah.
He can't hear you, I think, because I think Toph has the earbuds in.
I've got weird.
He was scared.
But while Toph and Atrioc are goofing off over there, of course
Yeah.
we need to introduce.
Yes.
Please forgive us, sir.
I'm getting it.
A man who has done so much for the scene, a man who has brought the hype so many times in so many ways. Good streamer, working the YouTube, just innovating character. I mean, come on, does he even need an introduction? Welcome to the show, Axe. How are you doing today, man?
Hey, what's up? Hey, thanks for having
Well,
me. I'm
good
doing
stuff.
well, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to
Also
have you
heralded
with
as one of the. I feel like I hear this all the time. Just kind of one of the nicest and classiest guys in Melee, which is no small feat in of itself.
I feel like
That's
this
so cool.
might be a little bit different because if people only see me compete, they're used to the hat. I'm not wearing the hat, so some
Right.
people might be
it's
thrown off guard
true.
with that.
What happened to your head?
Yeah, it's the haircut. You know, the hat. It'll come back though. My
Got a
hair
little
will grow
off the
back. You'll
top,
see it at
sure.
Summit.
Yeah.
Yeah, grows
fair,
fast.
fair.
Great, great.
But no, I mean, amidst the chaos, you might have missed it, but Aatrox also said, and I echo this. He said, "Congratulations, X, on getting into Summit."
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Man, it was a nail biter. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the whole voting process and stuff.
It was crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So, I mean, this is a topic, right? I mean, I just feel like some people are making noise about it, but I mean, largest prize pool in Melee history by a mile.
Yes.
20
Yeah,
years.
I think it's the largest in
in
Smash history, period.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
what I
Yeah.
sense. I mean, blowing it out of the water, right? I don't think we'd crossed the 100K mark before ever, and it's sitting at 140K, which is just bonkers.
Yeah, I think Smash World Tour was supposed to be 100K, but
Oh,
Okay.
my.
Okay, but
yeah,
I mean,
pandemic happened, that whole thing.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, so it's a big pot for it, and you're in there. You're one of the people that could take it all. And not only that, but this is after quite a while of playing online. I mean, how you can respond to any part of that you like, but really just as a whole unit, how does it feel to be going to Summit? I mean, after the voting process and everything, X.
Well, the pot isn't something that's really sunk in, I guess I'll say. You know, it's like, to me, it's kind of just going into Summit, and whether it's like a 30K pot or a $140,000 pot, it's like I'm sure you guys know, as Melee players, it hasn't really been about the money. Like, I don't think any of us started for the money, not any of us.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think the more like old school you are, the more true that kind of is.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. It's like, it hasn't really sunk in how much money is actually on the line, and that's pretty insane. But to me, it's more about actually going in person to compete.
Yes.
On consoles and CRTs again. Like it's weird because it's been like a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
Pretty close to it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited, and I legit did not think I was getting in.
You did?
It was, no, because I don't know. Just looking at the votes, seeing especially the first voting process when LSD sniped
that
them.
one was wild. That one was
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that was completely unexpected. And seeing that happen, and just my community, I think like more of mine was more open, like more of the votes that I had. It's like, if someone really did research, they could see what I had.
Yeah.
But with LSD, you had no clue, and I was thinking there's probably going to be more people like that, and like Aklo, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was getting in, but my community pulled through, and it was insane. It was insane. So,
Did they put a? I actually had a question on the pertinent question on this, and I wanted to ask None too at some point. But like, did you have much of? Because I think these, it's kind of become the common parlance now. The spirit bomb, which of course to the uninitiated is a concerted, kind of last minute, chunk of donations to try to snipe the auction, if you will, right?
Yep.
How much? Like, did you have much? Did you coordinate that? Like, what goes into that? Like, what is that like on the inside?
So I have like my own community Discord, the Axe Discord, which we call the Pika Pack.
Nice.
And we had like a spirit bomb section in my Discord, so people would go in there and say, "Hey, I have this many votes," and I had one of my mods, tally up how many votes we had. So we had that, which was like more under wraps, but anyone could still kind of see it. And then we had my on-stream spirit bomb, where I just had donations, which ended up reaching a little over $5,000.
Wow.
And so I mean that's pretty much it. In my Discord we got around like 25,000 votes, I would say, which is somewhere around $8,000. And then on my stream there was another $5,000, and that was enough to get in.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
Summit
which
ain't
is
cheap.
insane. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we get to a prize pool the way that we have.
That's true. That and Hungrybox with his 35K donation, that helped a lot too.
Yeah, it is definitely to your advantage, I feel like, and I realized this round. Like, it is definitely to your advantage to get in on one of the earlier voting rounds rather than the final day. Because man, those numbers on the final day, I mean, they eclipsed even what Hungrybox was working with on the first day.
It took them a while to beat Hungrybox's votes too, which I think is very unusual.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah.
Man, there is something else I wanted to ask about really quickly before we got a question. Before we got caller questions in. I guess I'll ask it this way, or I'll ask it in two parts. Did you get ratioed by Air YingLing? And regardless, what was that experience like? Because I know that he's from Arizona, you're from Arizona. I mean, you've worn the Arizona flag at events. I mean, what was that experience like? Two Arizona people trying to get in. I imagine that must have at least split the community some, right?
I mean, I've gotten ratioed by by Nick YingLing even before that kind of became a thing.
Oh my!
Like he goes to my local tournaments. I see him here and there, at just locally throughout the years, and that he's something else, man. Like, I mean, he's just a funny guy, and I didn't expect this whole summit thing to happen though. Like, when he was eligible, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of a cool thing. I thought he entered as just kind of like, oh, this is funny. And now he's actually going to Summit, and that just absolutely blows my mind. Like, what the heck? As far as like Arizona and voting goes, yeah, like almost all of the Arizona support went to YingLing this time around, which I'm just kind of like, what about me?
Right? What about?
Yeah, I that's another reason I thought I wasn't getting in, because it was no Arizona support. It was all from my community, just the Pika Pack, and there were a few people in Arizona helping me. I'd say most notably Ty. He helped me a lot. Because he's a VIP summit, so he's going to be there.
Sure.
And he helped me with those votes and stuff like that. But yeah, most of it was for YingLing, and I was stressing, man. I'm like, I just didn't think it was going to happen. Yeah, so it was definitely stressful and all that.
I will say, I mean, not having it sounds like at least a majority of Arizona with you and still being able to make it. I mean, that really just goes to show, I think, your pull in the community and how much people really want to see you play, want to see you offline, want to see you at Summit, an event that you won, the big a massive moment for you. So, you know, I think that's awesome that people rallied for that, you know?
Man, still can't believe that. It still feels like a dream. That's pretty insane. But you know, we'll see if I can do it a second time. See.
Yeah. Well, you got good luck, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's all right, Toph. I've been going for a little bit. Do you have anything you want to interject with, or you want to take a caller? What are you feeling, man?
I think we can get our first caller on. Yeah. I mean, I just I am curious. I mean, about kind of your. Sure, you know, I'll ask you this just as a follow up to what PP asked. No, I'll ask you this. Did you feel like this, like, I don't know, like, tell me about, you know, what you know of, like, what's your impression of YingLing as a because you mentioned, you know, you guys go to the same locals and stuff.
Yeah.
But what was your take as a fellow Arizonan on this campaign kind of spinning out of whatever it spun out of? You know what I mean? Did that just kind of come out of nowhere for you, or
to me, yeah, it came out of nowhere. You know, YingLing struck me as the kind of guy who's you know, they say he's Ludwig's friend. And
Sure.
I think there are a lot of similarities. Like he's kind of like Ludwig, honestly. And I don't know. I almost felt like it was a matter of time before something big kind of happens to him. Like he runs some Arizona tournaments here. He does a tournament series called the Nick YingLing Experience.
that one.
And those are actually fun. He gets like a Dave and Buster's, and we just play there and stuff. But I mean, yeah, he's a likable guy. Like he's cool. He's funny. It's a lot like Ludwig, actually. It's pretty funny. I just I don't know. I don't even know what to say about the whole thing. It's hard to say. Like I still can't really believe that he did what he did. That he's here. So
yeah. That is wild.
Also weird because now he's during the whole voting process, it felt a little bit weird because like he's a homie, like he's a friend, but
yeah, in
that moment, and also he's a competitor, like he's competition.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like for the second phase of vote-ins, if I didn't make it in, he was going to. It was kind of like direct competition sort of thing. And now I'll actually be competing against him in the game at Summit. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. But
what about the basketball? Do you think you'll dunk on Air YingLing and ratio him back finally?
No. Have you seen that ratio? There's no competing with that, man.
Fair enough. Just wanted to see what we might look forward to. Well, we hope.
Yeah, I'm pretty tall, but like I haven't. I did play basketball in middle school. I was on a team.
Okay.
But I mean that was middle school, man. I'm a 30-year-old man and haven't played basketball since then.
This is a boomer call. We're all 30. Let's go.
Yeah. In fact, I think Toph and I have like very close to the same birthday, right? What?
We do, yeah. I'm April 6th. You're April 7, 5?
Yep. April 7th.
7.
So yeah, literally one day apart. That's pretty cool.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was cool at what was that tournament?
Yahoo Rivalries.
Yahoo Rivalries, that's right.
Yeah.
Back when Yahoo Sports was a thing. Rest in peace. Yeah, it was really cool. They got us like a joint cake. And it was like that was really cool.
Yeah, it was. That event was pretty cool, by the way.
That was a really, really fun event. Yeah, it was.
It was almost like a mini summit, except, you know, a little bit different, but it was almost like a mini summit. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think we're just about ready to get our first caller on. Let's bring them on the air, see what they want to talk about. And our first caller, this is actually a repeat caller, I think. Is that right? Stllr, welcome back to the show.
It is. Thank you.
Hey, what's up? What's your question for us today? Where are you calling in from, just to remind people?
Calling in from just outside Toronto in Canada. What's up?
All right.
So, I have a bit of a deep cut for y'all. So, after winning Twitch Christmas Bash, I believe it was called, or Holiday Bash or something like that, Crush said something to the effect of, "I don't really believe in stages. I think that's like a myth." And so I wanted to ask.
I remember that.
It's a really funny quote, and it really stuck with me because it really threw everything that I thought I knew out the window. So I wanted to ask how much stages are affected by a player's play style, because there was also that thing in, like, I don't know, like 2016, 2017, where you just did not want to take a European fox to Final Destination, even though like it was totally fine to take an NA fox there. So I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Before we
Yeah, that
start,
is a
I think this is
good-
really funny that we have a Pikachu on here. Yeah. Do you think? Let's have Axe start. Do you think stages matter, Axe? What do you think, man?
As a Pikachu, most definitely. You know, that's coming from Pikachu's perspective, and I think it's way different from like other characters, especially in certain matchups. I think most notably against Fox, because Pikachu, like for me, I have Final Destination where I have chain grabs, and I have Fountain of Dreams, which is just I don't know, it's just really good. Fox has kind
Oh.
of trouble there.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
seen you do
those-
something on that stage before. That's pretty cool that you referenced that.
I think those two stages in particular are just so insanely strong for Pikachu against Fox. And that's like one example. So when I think of stages, a lot of it boils down to if I win game one against a Fox, I basically win the set because they have to deal with FD and Fountain of Dreams. So in this situation, I think it does matter a lot. In most other matchups,
Yeah, like playing against Peach on Dreamland, that's chill for Pikachu.
I mean, Pete's Dreamland, yeah, that's a tough one. We've all seen
Yeah.
Armada.
Yeah,
Well, I think most of us have anyway.
right.
Yeah, I do think stages do matter, but maybe not by an insane amount for most characters. So I think it matters a lot less than probably when it mattered when Crush said that. I think the further that the games come along, the less stages kind of matter.
That's an interesting take.
Interesting.
Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more? Because I would almost feel like it would be the reverse. As people get better at exploiting stages, that it would be harder to win on a stage that's good for someone else.
I think of it a lot more as like player adaptations than actual like playing the stage.
So it almost sounds like your opinion gets closer to Crush's the longer we go on. Then
kind
like
of
myth. They become a myth eventually.
Kind of like I see where Crush is coming from.
Okay, okay.
I sort of see it the same way. Not in Pikachu's case, so not necessarily in my case, but
Okay.
yeah, I do see it more as like you have to outplay your opponent by adapting to them, understanding what they like to do in neutral, and countering those attacks. And regardless of the stage, you should be able to do that on kind of any stage. That's kind of how I think of it. So like when Crush says that, I kind of see it actually. Like I feel what he's talking about.
Yeah, you got to remember that with Crush, he was a man of what's the word? He's the kind of guy that used a little bit of hyperbole to get a point across. And I think that what he was basically saying was like, okay, I mean, obviously, like, he's going to try to, if he's playing a best of 3 against like a Marth or whatever, he's going to ban D. But at the same time, I think Crush was the kind of guy that was like, a lot of people focus too hard on matchups and stages and these things that when ultimately, like, you can take, a class examples, you can take a great Falcon like S2J to Fountain, which in theory should be difficult for Falcon to play on. But then, he's got so much experience on that stage. He's actually so good at it at this point that he's going to play in a different way based on the level and he's going to beat you anyway. So I think with Crush, I mean, again, this was a couple years ago, but I'm pretty sure I remember this quote. And I think he said it in that way so that it would stick with you. Not because they literally, factually, to the T, didn't matter at all. But that being said, I do think he thinks they're... And it does help that he's a Fox player, right? I think, like, for some characters, for some matchups, it's obviously more important. But I think Crush had at the end of the day, he had a certain enigma to him that he wanted to uphold, And I feel like if he says stages don't matter or whatever, it adds to that, But I mean, I see it from a certain perspective. I mean, I remember when I first started playing Melee in tournament, there was like Rainbow Cruise, there was Congo Jungle, there was Brinstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
the good old days.
The good old days. And I felt like even then, like those stages, like, you would think you would think that stages were so polarizing with like the stuff you could take, the places you could take people, like you could take people to Corneria and laser camp them with Fox or whatever. But you would think that at the time, with the stage list being as varied as it was, you would just roll people over if you won the first game. But even back then, that wasn't necessarily the case. Mango went to Pound 3, and he had to beat Mewtwo King like several times on Corneria and Puff Fox, which is a terrible matchup, right? But
Yeah.
you could still, like, if you can outplay someone, you can still get it done. Yeah, it's harder for sure. But I don't know. I mean, you played PP. I remember one of my favorite PP moments, especially for the time, was when you beat Mewtwo King at
I knew
3.
I was either going to reference it or I knew someone else was.
I'm doing it. I'm doing your job for you.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah.
insane oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, I
people
went
were
back and
so
watched it
mad.
recently, and I was like, dude, PP relative to like PP's Falco in 2010 or 11 looked so much more modern than like other players playing characters. Like I was like, we were watching like some Marth or something from then, and then we watched PP's Falco from then, and PP's Falco was like literally doing like modern stuff, and then like whoever else it was like looked like the skill gaps were so big back then. It was pretty funny. But yeah.
There are just things that are hard to deal with, and I put a lot of work into trying to figure out what those things were. Also, I got hit if I didn't do them, which encouraged me to keep doing them. But yeah, I guess to kind of add on to what everyone else has pretty much said, I don't want to go too far and say that if you play on a stage that is considered bad and against a certain character or player and you start freaking out, right? That doesn't really do you any good as a player. It just doesn't. It's the same way as if, like you're, what's an interesting example? You're Zane and you sit down against Axe and you're already going to start freaking out before it even starts. Like, oh man, not again. Like, no, of course not. He's sitting down. He's like, I'm going to try and figure out what to do about this, even though it's been really difficult for me. I mean, in the same way, this stuff affects matchups, but you don't want this to be all you ever think about. And I think people can be too caught up in that with like optimizing, and then they can get in their own head if they lose the first game, and can kind of snowball. So, yeah, I think that's an important point. And then there was the other part about play styles. So I think for one of the easiest examples for me to draw on is Marth players. So some Marth players like using sword. Some Marth players like moving around. Sword Marth players like stages like Yoshi's. Moving players, like more Pokemon Stadium or places where they can move. And they can even like Dreamland because they just have more room to move around. So you can counterpick people based on kind of what they like and prefer and what they're not as good at. Like if Marth dashes back on Yoshi's, he's cornered, right? So like if they want to just move back, then you can use that against them. So there is an element to what the question is being asked about, where you can use a play style against someone, and this is also what Axe talked about, where you can adapt and you can play around someone, or you can get them playing a certain way, take them to another stage. They're not used to trying to beat your option the way they were before on a larger stage or smaller stage, and then you try to make them do it, and then it messes them up. So yeah, I mean, I think there's something to it that's important to keep in mind. Let's do our balancing act. Let's not overcorrect, but at the same time, I'm with these guys. Stages matter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
What do you think,
I
Stllr?
guess to follow on, to add on to that as a little quick aside, how much do you think comfortability on a stage matters then? So like, let's say you're in a matchup and there's a pretty obvious counter pick of like, oh, I'm Marth against Fox, I'm gonna pick FD. But like, let's say you're not nearly as confident in your chain grab as you are your neutral right now, or like something, some that kind of thing. Like, is there merit to picking a stage that's like maybe less favored, but you would feel more comfortable on it? Like, do you think that's a better decision most of the time, or?
Yeah, I mean, the better you get, I think the more you iron that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, there are people that will make decisions like that are even top 20, and I think that's perfectly valid. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to be comfortable going into your match, and even if that means you're SFAT and you want a Gentleman Zane to FD, then you do that. You live your best life.
Yeah.
Results may vary. Yeah.
Yeah, results
An
may
important qualifier to be sure, but you need to be confident.
I do feel like I think what PP said about you tend to iron that stuff out is super on point because like I feel like that is often you're gonna see that stuff a lot like at maybe even the top 30 level and stuff like that. But I do feel like ultimately like when you really get into like top 10, top 5 level, you see a lot less of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think that's like important. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, the competition gets so steep that you'll take any advantage you can get, you know what I mean? And you're gonna practice to the point that if you have been dropping your chain grabs on FD or something like that, you know, you're gonna get those down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you guys. I do think that everyone, even the best of the best players, has off days. When you have an off day, like maybe you're just like, you know what, like I'm not hitting my like I don't feel good in close quarters right now, for example. Maybe like
Right.
Mango situation against Hungry Box. Let's do that. And he's using Fox. It's just like, you know what? It depends whether you're feeling you want closer space to counterpick maybe Yoshi stories, or if you just want the longer stage and play that game to go to Pokemon Stadium. I think it does actually depend on whether you feel more confident on one place rather than another, and I do think that everyone feels that, even the best players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
And sometimes it is extreme enough to be like, you know what, I don't want to go to FD and chain grab because I don't feel confident in that right now. I'm just gonna go to another stage. So sometimes it can be that extreme. Yeah.
People actually ask, I'm curious with you, because you know, I think for a while it was like, okay, so okay, Axe could go to FD here or whatever. He's probably gonna go to FD because he can chain grab this Fox. And then a lot of the time, especially in best of fives, it seemed like you would opt to go to Fountain first. And then, if anything, you'd like save FD for later in the set. Was there like a particular reason for that? That's something I've always wanted to ask you and never got a chance to. Do you think FOD is just better, actually?
It's like it can be a mixture of a few things. One of them being what I just talked about. Like maybe I'm just feeling really off, and I'm like, dude, I'm missing like every chain grab. Like, what's the point of going to FD? So I'll just go to some other stage instead. Other times it's I feel like I want to figure them out on a more like on a platform, like a regular stage. I almost consider FD not a regular stage. So
it is super different.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm like, you know what? I want more time to figure out what they like to do in the neutral and figure out their actual game plan. Because on FD, everyone plays really different. I feel like, at least versus me. If I'm talking about space or characters I can chain grab.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I sometimes I don't go to FD because I want to figure out their playstyle more before I go there. So, and then sometimes, I'm just like, they're gonna hate going to FD last, so I'm just gonna save it. So it could be one of those three options. One of those three.
Funny.
Usually, what it is.
That's fair. Stllr, how you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Feel like
Right.
it's not something that's talked about as much as I wish it was, but that's not like anybody's particular like fault. It's something I'm interested in, and there hasn't really been that much talk about it, so I'm happy that there was.
I still really like, I still really like something that Azusa, who's a really strong NorCal Peach player, said to me a while back, which was that like, I mean, again, this is a little bit of hyperbole, and you know, whatever, but Azusa basically said like, I think Melee is a really, really, really good game, and I think that like the thing about Melee is that like you can get so good and you can outplay people so hard that like people will want to focus on matchups and people want to focus on stages and stuff like that, but ultimately it's always basically going to be player to player, like up until the two players are really, really similar in skill level. And so like I think that this was in the context of a couple years ago, like when Armada was picking up Fox, right? And I was asking him how he felt about that because Kalamazoo was really down on Peach. He wanted to stop playing Peach. He was trying to practice Marth and all this stuff. And Azusa was like, dude, like, I'm not going to sit here and worry about, like, can do I need to switch off my Peach because Armada thinks he needs to go Fox for like Hungry Box? Like, I have so much growth to do as a player
Yeah.
that, like, what is even the point in obsessing about that sort of thing? And Melee is such a good game. It's such a deep game that, you know what I mean? You're not going to just switch to Jigglypuff and beat me unless you're better than me. And I'm a big fan of that kind of mindset, in particular with Melee, because I do think it's true, right? I mean, I remember a couple years ago, we had Armada on the reads, and he was playing Mr. Game & Watch, and he had to play Free Palestine, who at the time was a top 100 player, going Sheik, and Armada beat Free Palestine with Game & Watch. And I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, you can get, I mean, obviously we've seen what Zane can do with Roy. It's just to the point where it's like, is it really worth, for most people? Okay, if you're like literally in the top 10 level and you're trying to win tournaments, yeah, then you got to worry about that sort of thing. But I think for a lot of people, like, they could do really well to like stop focusing on that stuff as much. And I think maybe that's what Crush was trying to get across.
Sure. Stllr, I think that's pretty good on your question. Do you got any shout outs for us on your way out today?
I do. I'd like to shout out Dage4, who just got the
Dage4.
full world record sweep in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. They
What
got
a gamer.
every single
Wow.
category.
Wow.
Every single
it's
category.
actually-
The
Wait,
best-
so he got the 180 emblem too?
Oh yeah.
Holy cow.
First person to hold that world record literally since the category started. Like, it was the same person until Dage
Yeah.
just was like, actually, I'm going to learn this category in 2 weeks and get a world record in a 9-hour category. So, unbelievable
legend.
power. And doing a speed run tomorrow at SGDQ at about 1 p.m. Eastern. So
Oh.
if you're around, check it out. They're really good.
Dope. Good shout out. Well, hey, thank you for calling in. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks for having me. Peace out.
Later.
Peace out.
Take care.
Also, you guys can join to put your
Yeah,
questions in
okay.
!radio
Yeah,
melee
the,
in the chat. Slime's here.
the wire went through YingLing. Okay. Well, we just got to make sure because, like, I mean, we don't really have the money yet, so it's on
Right.
credit. So the interest rate's going to be pretty crazy if we don't
Slime's
get that
saying
going.
they don't have money.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, good to see you, dude. Hey, yeah.
Did you finish
Oh,
your
these
act?
guys are freaking funny.
Yeah.
Man.
Finish it? Was it a good show?
It's good. It's good.
This is, I will say,
Yeah,
Axe,
yeah.
this is not usually how it is. This is a little abnormal for our show.
Yeah, so Slime's a little he's not
Well,
usually a part of this.
Well, Ludwig is at, or Toph said Ludwig's house, and
Yeah.
he's not usually there. So now, yeah, all the boys rolling through right now.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is complete chaos. But yeah, wire for YingLing went through. Hacks confirmed. Anyway, we're gonna move along and pretend that didn't happen. Who's our next caller?
Oh, is that Twitch's Web? Oh, my
Web
man. What's up,
again.
dude?
Twitch's
What's up,
Web.
dude? What up, Web?
What's up, everybody?
Good to have you back on. How
Web
you
and his
doing?
deep voice rolling through. How you doing today, man?
Web does
I
have a very, very beautiful voice. Yeah.
I wanted to come on and just say, you just got ratioed by Air YingLing and then leave, but then I wouldn't get to ask a question.
Yeah, if you did that, then I also know that you would have lied to Wormlex, and you're not a liar. So
That's
we can
right.
pretend you did that. We can just pretend that you did that, and then now you're back and asking us whatever question.
yeah, good one, man.
Good
What's
point.
your question? What's your question for us today, Web?
Well, the actual question is, given that all three of you guys have been to Summit before, what's your favorite part? But you can't
dude,
say
what
the
a good
obvious stuff. There is no winning from Axe, no commentating from Toph, no pizza from PP. But anything else
Pizza's
goes.
Pizza's from Axe.
Yeah, if Axe also can't answer pizza. That's also unfair.
He's fair.
man.
He can do it.
Oh, he can do it, but that's like
He can do it?
a huge. All right, well, I guess I know Axe's answer. You can start while I think about it, Axe, if you want.
All right. Well, to be fair, that pizza that I had, it actually wasn't very good.
Oh,
not the last Summit pizza anyway, because it's I don't really like cold pizza, and it was
Yeah.
cold.
dude. Okay, the way it basically
snap.
works, the way it actually works at Summit is like the dinner usually shows up around like 5:30, and on Sunday, like, if you make it to the end of the day, the tournament will kind of wrap up around maybe 7:30 or 8. So it actually is kind of cold pizza at that point.
Yeah,
It's a
and
little
also
bit
I
of-
will say, Toph, I mean, I hope they're able to afford it this time. They got a lot of votes. I'm hoping they'll really be able to have the pizza. Maybe they could have the pizza delivered in waves so it could be warm for the people that are at the end. Who knows?
Yeah.
I hope you get warm pizza, Axe, is what I'm trying to say, man. I'm looking out for you.
We'll see. At the one that I won, the pizza got there maybe like an hour or two, maybe 2 hours, and I was upstairs, and when I was playing Wizrobe, I was really hungry. Like my stomach was growling, and
Oh
Were you
my.
thinking about the pizza as you're being
yeah, oh yeah. Ooh.
He was hungry for the win and the pizza, man. This guy was after it, man. He was made of hunger.
Man.
So to answer the question, my favorite part about Summit, man, it's a little hard to describe besides the chill vibes. It's just so chill. Just like being there and being able to relax, but like you're also in like a really tense competitive environment because you have to compete against everyone else. But it's just so chill. I don't know. Just like hanging out with everyone. It's a total different experience than usual from like a major tournament because you're just with these 16 or so other players, and it's not like you walk through a sea of like a whole bunch of other people and competitors like at a normal major would be. It's just chill, like just the chill vibes. It's a little hard to describe other than that. I just love how chill it is.
I've always felt like the best part about Summit has been the extracurricular stuff. I mean, I'm sure I like the new venue too. I do miss the house. House was really cool. I used to like just sitting out on that. They had like a yard, we've filmed some skits back there. And it was dope. It was like just a really nice outside kind of deck area. And you'd sit out there and I remember having little bonding moments with like, bonding moments. I was gonna say with like various players that I didn't really get to know before. Like I'd go out there and one of the first people I was gonna mention actually was None, and or I'd go out there with Scar and we'd just kind of sit on the porch and chat about whatever. And that was there's still that aspect to it. It's kind of like more of a studio now instead of a house, obviously, but you always kind of make friends with some people that you didn't super duper know that well. Like, which just kind of happens because you're in close proximity with a smaller number of people than you would be at a major. Majors, there's thousands of people. Summit, there's like 20. And you're there for 4 days, right? So, like, I remember even going to Ultimate Summit 2. And I was just there as a guest, basically. And this is when I was playing a lot of Ultimate. And Wizzy and Plup were there. And I ended up hanging out with Wizzy and Plup like a lot that weekend and playing a lot of Ultimate with them because like they had a bunch of Ultimate setups. We were like the little melee crew in the corner playing playing Ultimate. Like we're like labbing in Ultimate, which was pretty funny. And I just feel like some of these interactions would never have happened if not for Summit for me. Because like at a major, like a proper major with thousands of people, you're usually gonna kind of stick to your little group or whatever, right? But that's always been kind of neat for me.
Yeah, I don't have an answer that's very different from your guys', I would say, but I can at least say it a little differently, I suppose. Being with all these people that maybe like Toph was saying, I might room away from everyone, or I might stick to myself more at events, but you get to see how everyone is kind of maybe not it's in a tournament environment, but it's still a little bit different, and especially early on when you get to kind of just joke around, see how everyone's feeling. I kind of just like Axe was saying too, just like the vibes of it, like it ramps up, but the beginning part is still nice to see them, and then as it gets more serious, I think there can be a change that can be kind of difficult to handle. But I think like being around everyone, especially for the earlier parts, is pretty nice because you just get to see so many people in that different environment where there aren't people around. You're not signing things constantly or whatever, and I like that. But also, I think the Summit staff is pretty cool. So you get to be around interesting people that you might not otherwise be around, and you get to see how they interact with each other, which I think is just pretty cool. I remember at the first one, there people were singing various songs, and one of the staff was getting fake annoyed at it, and we just kind of like had a thing gooning around from that, and it was just
That
they're just-
happens a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that, but it's just one of those things that you really can't have without the type of atmosphere Summit has. So that's probably
Yeah.
it for me.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Whoa.
I also will throw in Mafia, but I'm a big Mafia fan, so see what happens this time around. I heard they're actually making some upgrades to their Mafia setup, which is going to be really interesting.
Ooh.
But I don't want to spoil anything.
It's exciting.
Yep.
How's that for your question answered, Webb?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm glad you guys got to have all those great experiences.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Great to have you on once again. Do you have any shout outs for us on your way out today?
Oh boy, I do happen to have some shout outs.
All right. Well, hit us with them.
I'm about to actually just shill for you, Mr.
Okay.
Kevin MD. Everyone follow PPMD's Twitch and YouTube. There's so much ridiculously high-level educational melee content. It's fantastic. I was not paid to say this. Please do it.
He is my editor, though, so he is kind of paid to say it. But yeah,
Slight
you.
bias there. Shout outs to all of you guys. You guys have some of my favorite streams and YouTube channels. Shout outs to Rona Rumble, the big one. They're Rollback Rumble, excuse me. They're doing amazing things all week long. That's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. But most importantly, shout outs to Axe and Toph being able to get along after nice guy Axe showed his true colors.
That's right.
That's
Maybe
a
we'll be able to
good point.
film some more content at some point soon. Maybe we'll get a sequel in there or something.
Oh my! I
Look
think Toph
forward
is
to
looking
it.
for the rematch. Good luck, Axe. Thank you, Webb, for coming on. Have a great rest of your day, man.
You too.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Webb.
See you. I love Webb.
I love the guy.
Good guy. Where's he from? New Mexico. No.
Texas.
Texas. That's what I
Texas,
said.
yeah, and it's funny because when I see him, because I see him sometimes, we look kind of like we could be brothers, actually.
Oh wow!
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what he looks like. So
And you sound exactly the same too. That's crazy.
Yeah, got the same super deep voice, everything,
I am looking forward to the YingLing skits, which
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure they got something lined up for us.
hmm
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. Well, do we have another?
Yeah, I think
caller
we're about
rolling
ready to
in?
get our last caller for the day. Is that YokaiNels? What's up, YokaiNels? Where are you calling in from?
Well, hello everyone. I'm calling in from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Have you called in before? Have we had you on before? I feel like we have.
No, I am a new guy, but I do
What
know
is
that
up,
one
Nels?
guy. Hey, what's up, X? How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. Yeah, he's one of my mods. So
Oh, nice,
Ooh,
nice.
big
I think
shot.
that's probably where I recognize him.
Yeah, no big deal. All right. So my question is,
Yeah.
and I especially wanted to ask this because some people on this call have had very choice opinions on the matter. So
Okay.
with the return of Land Melee coming up soon, do online results still matter? And furthermore, I would like to extend that to say that once majors and IRL locals make a full return, will
Right,
online matter then,
right.
do you think?
Yeah, that is a good question. Axe, what do you think?
Man, that's a hard one to answer. I've thought about this a lot, and I've kind of gone back and forth. My conclusion was, I don't know.
That's fair. That's a fair conclusion.
Yeah, it's just difficult because like the online era is a bit different. People you compete at your own home. You're not in person having to like go fight with someone like IRL next to you and stuff like that. It's a bit different, and gosh, I really don't know. Like if they definitely do matter if that's the question. Like all the results and everything that's been going on throughout the past year online, they're all definitely notable, I would say. But to what extent, it's hard to say.
Mhm.
I'm hoping one of you guys can answer better because legit, I've been a big question mark with this whole subject.
Yeah, and I mean, this is no secret You're one of the people that I feel has been, if not, I mean, maybe the most or among the most impacted by the switch to online. So, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, for you to at least be as kind about what the impact of online is, I think is, you know, I mean, very telling about your character, right? So, certainly want to applaud you for that. And yeah, but I guess to my own take on it, I was, you know, I was kind of very against online credibility for a while, and then I've warmed to it more over time. I think the higher ping stuff still has a pretty big impact. So I think to say that offline and online are exactly equivalent, I don't think I will ever go that far. And people can even have low ping but still unstable connections, and so so there are going to be exceptions, and I don't think I'll ever be to the point where I say it's 1-to-1 for various other reasons besides that. But they are going to have a place. They're a way to get people into the game. There might be the way people prefer to play the game. I mean, certain people may feel if they go to an event that there may be more challenges for them for whatever reason, right? So online is going to be a space that's always going to be valuable to us as a community. So I think to write it off regardless of experience, I think is unreasonable. But I also think that saying that it's 1-to-1 with LAN is also unreasonable. So while we're opening up, I think it's fair to put more value on it. But I think our gold standard would always be best to be LAN. So I think the more we go to LAN, I think the more we kind of shift away from probably prioritizing online. But where is the tipping point where we just say, okay, well, you know, you don't really need to do online anymore, or you know, what do we do with that for rankings? Because we didn't really do rankings before. Do we just, if something iconic happens online, but then it completely contradicts someone's career, or if there's like a tie break between people, do we use an online result to break that? I mean, there are questions that are still going to be there, and it's going to be, I think, partly resolved by how much the top players want to enter online, and things like that. So, yeah, I think they're going to matter more now than they will when offline is completely reopened. But yeah, I'm not going to ever. I think regardless, I'm not ever going to say that they're going to be 1-to-1, regardless of whatever is changed.
Yeah, I had an interesting take on this that I'm just going to provide, which is that I think what we're looking at it now, like, okay, I think we're gonna miss online tournaments in a way. I think that when offline tournaments are fully back,
That's an interesting take.
There's certain aspects of, like, okay, this was something that I maybe you know what I mean by this, maybe you don't. I almost feel like online is a region. Like, there are certain with online tournaments, I almost feel like there's certain players where I'm like, their region is online.
That
like,
is funny.
You know what I mean? Because they enter every online tournament. You know, they're you usually expect to see them in whatever winter semis or whatever.
Yeah.
Or and you know, there's kind of become this little bit of a culture with online tournaments where it's like, you know,
sure,
it happens. You know, there's usually region locked up till a certain point, and then West Coast and East Coast play after a certain point. And then whoever wins, and then, you know, the tournament organizer raids the guy's stream, and then they have a celebration stream, and they're like drinking. You can't do that with offline tournaments, right? That's just not a thing. And
Axe did stream after he won Summit, though.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Summit's
true. Summit's a bit of a Summit's a bit different, but I feel like online
Summit is special from that regard.
Yeah, I do feel like online has kind of like opened up that thought process for other majors too. Like maybe other players will be bringing like mobile stream setups to stream actually at the event and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about. Hold on, real quick. I hadn't thought about this before until Toph brought it up. But like, I think there is a certain level of like, you don't really get stuff that you would see on a regular basis that you do get online. Because like, we can't see like Aklo versus HBox on a weekly basis unless it's online. You know, we can't see Kubi all the way up in Canada, or, you know, LSD, who's, what is he? South
Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah. And like, we wouldn't be able to see all these people compete if not for online. So it kind of gives it an interesting little thing, you know, where people that normally wouldn't play, that the only way you would really see them is at like a bigger regional, or if they run into each other in bracket and big tournaments and stuff. So I think that is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that's something that really the only other thing I wanted to bring up is I think the main thing people will probably argue eventually is that online in its own way does democratize Melee a little bit more, where people don't have to pay a bunch or have to be sponsored to go to an event. They can play from kind of wherever, and that makes it easier to get in. And I think that's fair. But I don't, and I think that's really good for our accessibility as a scene. But I think the more we try to get people into the upper echelon of the game, I think the more we still push people towards the LAN events. But yeah, I mean, so that is our challenge as a community. How do we try to make this the best scenario for everyone? And I don't really have a perfect answer to that. I would love to see, like in region type of online qualifiers for like in region things, like maybe when YingLing is done ratioing people, he runs an online thing to get people into Smash Camp or whatever, right? Like I don't know if he can ever go back to that. That'll be tough after his newfound fame, but maybe he finds a way, right? And so there are all kinds of solutions here, and yeah, I think integrating the two would be cool. But also, I mean, I think there is just going to be a separation, kind of like what Toph's talking about with the regional thing. It is really going to be a different thing for sure. And looking back on it is going to be an interesting experiment and a case study for what a drastic change does for all of us, I guess.
And I think it'd be really cool if like we got all those people all the regulars that we saw online and somehow like got them to an IRL event and like had them all play and just to see like if
that's
the,
funny.
I mean, it is kind of funny, but
you get all you put
I
all
think
the online grinders into the sun, see who handles it. That's good.
yeah,
I like
exactly.
that.
See how you handle a screaming crowd and not being able to smack talk somebody right into their face.
Yes, I like that. That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. I like that too because it shows that we have there's a lot of potential for things we can do with this, either for the people that have made names for themselves more so in this time, or could make a name for themselves. Because even if everything opens up tomorrow, I think there will be people that might still just come up online and then use that to either get sponsored or use that to crowdfund their stream, the way to get to a larger tournament like Genesis or something, and then maybe things take off for them more there. It'd be very interesting. So I think it's always going to have a place, and I think it's very good for us. Shout outs to Fizzy.
Oh yeah, big shout outs to Fizzy.
Yeah, I, mean,
I also think it's a good idea to like I feel like something like this will happen in the future where I think we're still going to be having online tournaments for those people who just can't travel or don't want to travel, whichever way. But I think tournaments having things where like, hey, the winner of this tournament, this online tournament, a big one or whatever, will be flown out to this in-person tournament.
Yeah.
And I think things like that happening would be great to kind of mix in the online players with offline to give the best players of the online a chance to actually go to events and things like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's cool too, just to think about. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of incentives and things you can do with like ranked too, with Slippy Ranked. I think that's something that people are really looking towards.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
That's looking really cool, by the way.
Rank's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty colossal, and you could do stuff like similarly with that, right? Like I can imagine. Actors Ladder back in the day had this little perk where I think it was if you were like number one on the ladder at the end of a season, he would just give you $50 or something. It was like some little prize for being number one on the ladder. And I don't know. I could see some similar sort of. I mean, obviously the sky's the limit, but that could be the sort of thing too, where we fly somebody out based on their rank performance or something like that, or we use that as a kind of a gateway to, I don't know, seed offline majors or something like that. I have no idea.
Summit does like several offline qualifier spots, but then they have one online one. And so not only do we have like the crazy campaigning that people get mad at, but then people have the offline online thing to get mad at. Summit will be really just farming all the impressions then.
Oh yeah, a lot of buzz behind
the more things you can make people get mad at, I think, on the internet, the better.
Yeah, that does good for numbers.
That is good for numbers. Yeah.
But yeah, I would really love to see someone like I want to see Ben HBox in person. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see because they got a rivalry.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
They definitely do at this point.
A confusing statement to be said 2 years ago, but a sensible one now.
Well, I wouldn't have known who Ben was, so I would
That's
have
why
assumed
it would have
time
been
to,
really
like,
confusing.
would have been very confusing.
That would have been even
HBox
more
just like
hype.
found a rival in some guy named Ben.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah,
Now I think Ben's the favorite or something. I
He
think
might be.
Yes. Can't
We'll
tell.
see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got any other thoughts about this, Nels, or you feel like we answered the question adequately?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. One final thought I had was like, do you think after like say Riptide comes back or something, it'd be cool to just like make a definitive online era, rankings? But then I feel like people would get mad about it, so maybe not.
Well, people get mad about the offline rankings already.
Yeah, people get
oh,
mad about
Magic.
any kind of rankings.
I mean, making some that aren't official could be all right, but then some people might take it as that. I don't know.
Right. But what does
it'd be
official
tough.
even mean? People
It's
get
true,
mad,
yeah.
Melee
True.
Stats endorses it. That's what it means at the end of the day now. It used to be
Right.
Taco endorsed it. Now it's Melee Stats.
I mean, PG
Right.
Stats made
Yeah.
that tier list, and I remember Toph talking about how it's the official quote unquote.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
in
at the
my
end of the day,
opinion,
we
in my opinion, I don't see why not. Like, I don't see. I feel like having something that shows the best players or like results wise of the online era, before in-person majors come back. I don't see why not. I feel like something notable should come of it at the very least. So I think a ranking would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was
Again.
thinking, just to kind of immortalize this very important era I feel like we've had.
gotta get Ben up there.
Yeah, I gotta get Ben up there, of course.
Yeah.
Gotta get Ben up there.
All right, yeah, that's
Kadoran.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah,
Kadoran.
definitely. I think Kadoran's gonna
Kadoran.
do things.
But see,
though.
I mean, I think that's the other thing, right? Is like, we can't, you don't want to feel like the way we talk about it, it's almost like, oh, if we don't honor these online players now, they'll never have their, but I mean, the real thing that they gained was the skill that they got grinding through COVID. And like, I don't expect Ben to have any trouble succeeding in an offline major.
Kadoran's going to do great.
Kadoran, yeah, I just assume Kadoran already started entering SoCal tournaments and he's been winning, I think, every tournament he's entered. So
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
I think at the end of the day, right? It's all
I
about
think I think to me, like this period specifically during the pandemic, I feel like this is kind of a historic time, a historic era, because I don't know if something like this is ever going to happen again, where it's only online for a year straight.
Only online, yeah.
So I think, I think something like this should be somehow documented, and I feel like a ranking's kind of good for that.
That's a cool way to think about it.
I would feel kind of bad for putting Melee Stats through trying to figure out how to do that, but it would be that is a good argument for making them do it all the same.
I'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
I guess they
as
won't
long
have
as
that
I'm not
choice.
doing the work, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah,
I don't
like
wanna
them
do
do it.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's easier. The same people enter every time, right? Maybe it's
Well,
just easier.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
Some people's lag goes up for a certain set, just
true.
because of ISPs and stuff. And so, like, how are you going to
That's
take
true.
that into account? Or there was a crucial moment, and if on a stream someone said there was a lag spike for that, I don't know, man. I feel like, but like Melee Stats, I know they're the type of people that will consider so many things when evaluating it, and I love that they do that. But that just makes this so much harder than it's already hard even offline. Where there are so many things to consider. So I would feel for them, but at the same time, Axe's historical argument does persuade me. We could yeehaw that.
It definitely wouldn't be easy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think that's good on my question. Yeah.
Okay.
Good conversation.
Yeah. Well,
I'd like to give a shout out if that's okay with you guys.
please do.
I want to give a shout out to you three because I'm actually a big fan of
Let's
Toph,
go
PP,
us.
and Axe.
Thanks,
I mean, Axe already knows. I don't gotta sing his praises. He already knows.
Yeah, Nels is my boy. So,
But Toph,
Nels.
big fan. I've seen like every video, that you put out for like
Let's go.
I don't know, a long time.
Appreciate that,
PP,
dude.
also a big fan.
Thank you.
And I want to, instead of a shout out, I want to do a call out to TwitchisWeb because we haven't played Melee yet, and I want to play with him.
Okay, well, whenever one of you comes back, let me know how that turned out.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be easy, right? You have Slippy now. You don't have to
Yeah.
You don't have to
It's
go to
not
his house.
complicated
It's
anymore.
true.
It's very.
But maybe I
in
wanna
theory,
go
it's
to his
very
house.
easy.
Dude, heck yeah. Hang out. Sleep
Maybe he's got a
over.
really nice house. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a million, guys. I really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Nels.
All
Appreciate
right.
that.
Take care. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, take it
Call.
easy, Nels.
All right.
Good questions
that was
today.
good questions. We've got to go soon, so we're not unfortunately not going to be able to take more callers. There are crew battles that people are participating in. Check out Rollback Rumble, the big one. That's going to be happening soon. But I
as it turns
really
out.
did want to ask. I had there's so many things that I mean, we just haven't really even talked about the Pikachu thing, and I think that is heinous. But that's not what I want to ask you about. So you'll just have to come back so we can talk about the Pikachu thing. But
Okay. Looks like I'll have
What's
what
the
to be
I
Pikachu
back.
thing?
Yeah.
What's
yeah,
the
I
Pikachu
mean,
thing?
just like there's so many things that we could ask him about it, but I don't just because there's so much, right? Like him
Do you
being
just mean playing Pikachu?
well, sure, but also like yeah, I mean everything that comes with it, right? Like the challenges, and then he's like pretty much the only one. Not as much now, I know, but like
Ah,
for a long time, and like there were so many things that I wanted to ask him about it, and I think that would have been great. But what I really wanted to ask you about now, and hopefully this won't take quite as long as many nuances, but I don't know. And again, I want to be respectful of your time, but this was brought up at the beginning, and this was that you are often, and I think reasonably so, regarded as one of the kindest people in Melee. And I wanted to first ask you, I have a follow up, but I wanted to first ask you, how do you feel about that title?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of just some guy. Like, uh, I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like it's only because of popularity. Because I've been in the spotlight a lot, and I think when people think of like wholesome, they're just like, oh, it's Axe and Amsa. That's kind of like what's at the top. But like, dude, I'm not like the nicest guy ever. I see people like Eddie Mexico, if any of you guys know, have like talked to him at all. Or there's just like a whole bunch of people that I think don't they're just not as much in the spotlight, I guess I'll say. But I mean, I don't know what to think. I don't even think it's like a title or something. I mean, a lot of people think of that, but sure, like I mean, I think that's great. If anything, I want to be just welcoming to anyone that's trying to get into Melee. And I think it helps just to be friendly and just be a decent person.
Sure.
And I kind of just want to help people get into the game. That's the main thing. Bring people into the community.
So if you didn't play Melee, you would be a jerk, is what you're saying.
I did get Employee of the Month a lot when I worked at Walgreens for customer service.
Snap, the Walgreens Drake deep cut. Let's go, baby.
So there's that.
that's
Employee
sick.
of
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
I
I've
mean,
ever got employee of the month in anything, but I don't think I've worked anywhere that did that, which is a shame.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just have to be a decent person. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, and
follow up for that really quickly then. You are saying you're not sure why people say that, but you're saying you want to be welcoming. So I'm kind of curious. What does kindness mean to you? I mean, if you're saying these other people have it to some extent, then they just don't get it seen. I mean, is there something about that you'd like to take? But really, the main question is, what is being kind to you? I mean, so many people do think of you that way. So what do you think of like that? Maybe people want to embody that. Maybe they want to learn from that, right?
so I grew up doing martial arts under my dad. My dad's he does Tung Sudo, which is kind of similar to Taekwondo. It's more of a defensive type of martial arts, but mainly just teaches you about like discipline and self-control and things of that nature. And I think the main thing is respect, and especially the golden rule of just treating people how you would want to be treated, or more treating people how you think they want to be treated. And I vibe with that a lot. Like it just makes me feel good to make other people happy.
Sure. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I think a lot of people feel that way, but like I don't know.
Not everyone acts on it, and you do act on it. So I mean, that's if it sounds like you're almost saying if you have that belief in yourself, go for it. It's going to feel good.
Yeah, I mean that's it. And I also feel like with the Melee community, I think most of our top players really are actually like great people, you know, and that's what I like about Summit as well. Going into it, just being able to hang out with all these people more and like really learn how they are. I feel like most of the top players, like pretty much everyone I'm hanging out with, they're really great people. Like just the Melee community as a whole, like getting to know all these people over a decade now. It's kind of how it's been.
Has been over a decade. Yeah, it's crazy to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about.
I mean, I could follow it up with more, but I think those are pretty good answers. Toph, how you feeling about this?
I love that. I love that. I think it's cool that Axe embodies that kind of energy.
For sure, for sure. All
Shout out to
right,
Eddie
well,
Mexico too. That guy is a super
Yeah.
duper sweetheart.
Dude, he really is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but
been
I feel
actually
like
put in work recently too.
Yeah, he
which
has.
is really cool to see. Winning a lot of
yeah.
net play.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like just the especially the Melee community is like mostly just really great people. You know, especially when I look at like other I guess gaming communities and I see like other things. I don't know. I'm happy to be in the Melee community. So
Sure.
I do feel like after a certain point, we are all, like you mentioned, we are all older now, and I think that kind of adds to it too. Or I think you kind of
Yeah.
learn the value of certain things just by kind of having that life experience.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a wonderful note to end on. I am glad that glad to have you with us, Axe. Thank you so much for having the questions and working with the schedules on a short notice. But you've got a crew battle to go be in. Everyone check out BTS Smash shortly after this goes on.
Twitch.tv/BTS Smash. I'm gonna go commentate that.
Joe's gonna go commentate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be a
Sweet.
wonderful time. Guys, go check that out. But yeah, for everyone here at Radio Melee tuning in, whether you're an audio listener or on YouTube, which you can always sub to, it'd be great for us. Thank you so much for being here. You can tune in every Tuesday, get wonderful guests such as Axe rolling through with Toph and myself hosting it. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Beautiful people of the world. See ya.
Peace out, guys.
Take care, guys.